In a world where 4 adventurers have gathered together in a burning tavern. I don't know, let's go.
Hey everybody, welcome to this week's episode of One Shots. We have here Rosemary. Rosemary, raise your hand, say hello. We've got Bison, whose name I misspelled on the overlay badly. We've got Jack.
Oh.
Jack, hello. And we have question marks. Who knows his name? So.
And we are Wild Stallions!
Yeah. Okay, so let's do a quick character introduction. Rosemary, who
All
are
right.
you?
I'm Rosemary. I'm about 5'11", long brown hair in a ratted braid. I wander the forests, looking for something interesting to do. With a spear upon my back, looking wistfully out at the sunset or the sunrise, whatever the time of day happens to be at the time. Yep. And I'm here in this tavern, basically looking for a reason to get away from it all. Just trying to move on to greener pastures somewhere.
Excellent. Bison.
Oh, also, I have a squirrel friend who is on my shoulder, getting drunk with me. His name is Struffles.
Excellent. Bison, give yourself an introduction of sorts.
Me Bison. I'm just about the biggest, baddest dude you've ever seen. Damn near 7 feet tall. Wide as a barrel of gin. Balding head and a big black beard. Covered head to toe in scars and tattoos. Pretty much the only clothes I'm wearing are a large animal carcass draped over my back. Big hammer, big axe. Waiting for an excuse to smash something.
All right. Excellent. Jack.
All right, so I'm Jack. That's his name this month until he needs to bug out of town and hide and start a new name with a new life somewhere. He's a tall, slender elf with long, curly, dark hair, black armor that's very stylish with lots of superfluous buckles, very stylishly dressed, and, well, he's a thief. He's a rogue. He gets into trouble.
All right. And question marks. What's your name?
Well, I'm a dwarf cleric from the White Snow Tribe, and it's our cultural tradition that whatever facial expression we have is our name at the time. So if I'm smiling, I'm happy or creepy, depending on the smile. There's different types of smiles. And it is my quest to bring back a new facial expression to my tribe, and that will be my name. This is my coming of age.
Excellent. Well, the 4 of you are starting in a tavern in the High Claris Tower in the region of Palanthas. However, as you lift your drinks for the first time, you notice that the kitchen is on fire. And it's kind of getting out of control.
All right, with my 16 perception.
With you, yes.
with my 6 perception, I haven't noticed that the kitchen's on fire.
You smell some delicious food, Bison son.
All right. Gentlemen,
All right.
I have a feeling this place is on fire.
All right, Jack is starting to think about whether he accidentally started that when he snuck into the kitchen before, and whether he left one of his daggers on the counter, thus identifying himself since they're all monographed. So he shouts, "Oh my God, look for the nearest..." He's going to grab his ale. He'll run in, throw his ale at the fire, look around and make sure he doesn't leave his dagger on the counter. And is there any good-looking food out on the counter?
Make a grub skill check.
Damn you! I grab whatever turkey leg or mutton there is and run back out, saying it's hopeless.
Yeah,
right, I exclaim, "We need to save the little ones first!" And I go and I try to grab kind of just neutral looking dwarf around the belly. Just try to hoist him up and run out the door.
What's your strength, Rosemary?
15.
Okay. You hoist the dwarf up, and he is wildly surprised. He's like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" And he takes his ale in his hand, and he like tries to bash you in the head with it, but of course he's a dwarf. He can't reach your head. And he's like, "Oh!" His dwarf compatriots stand up and start yelling at you.
I'm like, it'll be all right. I'll get you all here soon. So I try to kind of like, wobble out the door, with this dwarf.
Okay, you start wobbling out the door when the bartender screams, "Oh my god, there's a fire!" Because apparently he didn't notice beforehand. And
he doesn't have 16 perception, obviously. So
yeah, his perception was pretty bad. And everyone in the bar looks. They see the smoke boiling out of the kitchen, and everyone makes a beeline for the front door.
All right, so I look for the table with the wealthiest looking guests, run over and scream to them, run, there's no time. And as soon as they've left, I start drinking whatever it is that they were drinking.
Okay. Make a
I'm
grub
looking
skill
to see if
check
they
to see
left
how
a
much you
tip.
enjoy it. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Can we see grab skill checks for everything? In this
Pretty
game?
much, yeah. For those of you who don't know, because we don't do this in our other things, grub skill is the skill that defines how well you enjoy food and drink, or how drunk you can get, or how sober you can be, depending on if you want to get drunk or if you want to be sober. It just covers all manners of food-related things. So, everyone quickly dashes outside. Hopefully, do you guys run outside too?
At this point, I'm finishing my drink and looking to order another one.
I just shotgun everything on the bar. If people leave their drinks behind, that's undwarven.
No, you're being hoisted, bro. You're being hoisted. And I don't stop hoisting until all the dwarves are out. So, like, the whole thing.
So right now you're grumpy.
Okay.
All right,
So-
when I think I found everything that's worth salvaging, then I'll run out.
Okay. You guys get outside, and it's just a mess. There's people outside. Some other people are grabbing like buckets of water and like throwing them on the building, even though the building's not on fire yet. It's just kind of chaos. Everyone's running around. It's just a big freaking mess. Eventually, one of like the town guards comes over, organizes a small force, and like they, get buckets of water from the nearby barrels that litter the streets in case of fires, and start putting out the fire in the kitchen. But your tavern has burned to the point that no one is allowed back in for now.
All right.
I tell the guard that I think the guy who started this snuck out the back. I saw an unidentified white guy running away. Very generic looking white guy.
He kind of gives you a deadpan look and says, "I don't see color that way, man. Can you give me something that's more identifying?"
I don't see color either, but I knew he was white because... No, I'm not going to go there.
Okay.
All right, I'm over with the dwarves, telling them it's all over now. Everything's fine.
You're a human?
Catch your breath. Where are you guys' parents?
Do you really say that to them?
Yeah.
They stomp their feet, stare at you in the face, and start shouting at you in Dwarven. You have no idea what they're saying.
Can they like start kicking his shins? I feel like they'd start kicking his shins.
They're not kicking shins, but you know that they're like using every obscenity in the book and like being the most demeaning. I can't even repeat it. It's not safe for stream, guys. They're just like going full out on him.
All right, I'm like stoically nodding at them, like, yeah, let it out. Let it out.
All right. What do you guys do from here?
Were we
I'm not sure.
staying at the tavern?
That was your home for the night.
Looks like I'm gonna be making camp.
I mean, you're in the High Claris Tower, so there's a couple other taverns nearby. You're just camped right outside.
I won't be making
Okay, 'cause I wasn't sure how, as adventurers, we were going to get work if the tavern was burned down.
Yeah, well, there's a few other taverns. Across from you is the Burning Brothel, if you want to head over there. although it's got that name for a reason.
Burning brothel.
The Burning Pillar brothel.
Yeah.
I think Neil wants us to go to the brothel. So
Whoa, whoa,
maybe
whoa,
we
whoa.
should not go
I'm
to
not
the brothel.
saying you should or shouldn't go to the brothel. I'm just letting you know it's there. Okay.
That just doesn't seem like a good idea.
All right, who else is going to the brothel?
There's a brothel?
Come, my large adult friend, let's go.
Being illiterate, I probably wasn't aware that there was a brothel.
There were some topless women hanging out of the second story, flashing their boobies at you. It was pretty clear.
It's boobies, the universal language.
Yeah.
I don't know, his perception's pretty low. Maybe he just like didn't look up.
Oh yeah, you're used to looking down at things. You probably didn't see it.
I think I should get a second perception stat for boobies. It's sort of an exception to the
Okay.
general rule.
Roll 46. Drop 1 for your booby noticing stat.
For booby perception.
Yeah, go for it.
Roll.
Uh,
Nine.
Okay.
Ah.
Only
Okay.
marginally better. Okay, I didn't notice the boobies.
You did not. Well, you.
all right, while Bison is trying to figure out whether he notices the boobies or not, I walk to the brothel.
Okay. Rest of you.
That still seems really questionable.
Dude, aren't you supposed to be like the most questionable person in our group?
Yeah, but there's questionable and there's
Just as like,
And there's
hang on,
burning.
I don't have my goddamn name.
I mean, I'll go down into a dungeon with dragons and monsters and undead, but the Burning Pillar doesn't
But-
sound like a good
But you
step.
won't go down in the burning pillar.
Yeah.
All right, I walk into this brothel. I'm like, how
Right.
much do you charge for sponge baths?
You get a voluptuous woman with long blonde hair walking up to you and says, "Sponge baths are only a few copper, my lord."
Sounds good.
Wait, they've invented sponge technology?
No, they're actual sponges.
Well,
Like,
sponges are creatures.
You know what?
Nobody
Mother,
invented them.
Mother Nature made sponge technology, man.
No one can own a sponge, man. They're from nature.
okay. So
Do they accept payment in the form of shell necklaces or rocks
probably
or any of the currency that I may have available?
maybe if you have some really nice beaded
Actually-
necklaces or something, they might go for it. You'd have to.
So actually, I just realized I have no idea. Do I have money?
No, you're like basically broke right now, which is the reason
Oh.
you guys were. Yeah.
Wait. But like, I had some money that I was gonna pay to like stay at the tavern, right?
Yeah, I mean, you've got some money. You've got like 2 silver on you. You're pretty
Okay, I've
much
got-
broke.
And the silver is like 10 copper, right?
Right. So you got
Right.
20 copper.
All right, enough for a sponge bath. I'll make do.
Okay. All right. So Rosemary goes and gets himself a sponge bath.
All right, so I'm getting a sponge bath.
The rest of you?
Well, this is my first burning building, so I'm gonna look at everyone's expressions and see if there's anything good going on there.
Most of the bystanders have left at this point. They they were there for their drinks. Now their drinks are gone, so they've headed
come on,
down the
there's
road
no
to the next
TV.
bar.
No one's invented TV. A burning building is.
Well, the building's been put
Hypothesis.
out by now. There's just smoke. So people are standing around chatting, but the people that were in the building were there to drink, and now they're moving on to get their drink.
I think the dwarf lit the fire. He wanted to like see some new faces, you know.
There's a lot of good expressions. There's the barkeep who is crying his eyes out over his building going up in flames. There's a little girl nearby who is kind of looking around shell-shocked because her mother didn't make it out of the kitchen. And we've got a couple other people who are laughing at their misfortune.
Hmm. That's nice.
Oh, man.
Darn, if only I invented high-speed transit, I could have introduced rubbernecking.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so let's. So I guess my sponge bath happens. How is it?
I,
Tell me. Pretty
Roll a
good.
charisma check.
Charisma check. All right, let me get going here. All right.
D20 plus your charisma.
Plus, you don't have to clear.
No, it's D20 plus your charisma. You want to get a 20 or higher. Usually. 19.
Oh,
Your sponge bath is pretty good, but it's a little bit short.
a little bit short.
Yeah, they just doesn't, and they didn't scrub their feet the way you liked them to be scrubbed.
Ends prematurely.
Is that what the lady basically said? It's a little short.
I wasn't going to spell it out like that. I was going to let it sit, but yeah.
All right. So I thank the lady for her services and her critique, and do the monetary exchange. You said it was 3 copper.
Yeah, 3 copper for a sponge bath.
So I've got like 17 copper left then, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm just gonna keep that copper. Cool. And then I say, how much for a room here? Is it nighttime? Are we trying to go to sleep or?
It's late afternoon. The sun's still up, but it's getting low to the horizon.
All right, I'm gonna ask about a room then.
They say for a few minutes, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, or more if you have the coin.
He only needs it for a few minutes.
Yeah, it seems mean.
60 seconds tops.
Very short amount of time. Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to go look for the best inn in town.
Okay. There is a very fine, classy establishment just down the road near the tower itself, which is where all the officers tend to hang out.
I'm gonna like wherever the dwarf is going. I'm gonna like kind of try to. I'm gonna stall on getting a room and just kind of like make sure the dwarf's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Finds his way home all right.
Okay.
All right, so Jack goes to the fancy inn. He walks in the door, poses in the door so that anybody who wants to can notice him and how unimpressed he seems with them all, and he'll kind of have a look like, oh, it'll do, and then walk in.
Okay. You're not sitting down more than 10 minutes before a woman approaches you, but before that, what is his name? Bison. Where did you end up going?
I think I'm still just sort of ambling around the street outside of the fire.
Okay, cool.
Blocking traffic and waiting for someone in the party to tell me where to go.
Okay. So this woman approaches you. She's like 5'6", long brown hair, kind of put back in tied up in a bun. You can see that she's got like scars on her hand. She's clearly some sort of warrior, but she's dressed nicely tonight. And she comes up to you and says, "Excuse me, you don't look like you're a soldier here."
All right, so I'm sitting slouching back in the booth here. I've got a dagger that I'll balance at the tip on my finger, and then kind of like flip it up and catch it on or the back end of it with and balance that on my finger. I do that a couple of times before I notice her. I go, no, I don't suppose I do.
You don't happen to be available for hire, do you? I have some things I need doing that I can't really be involved in. I need to keep my hands free, if you know what I mean.
I think I do.
I just realized what I said. She goes,
what
good.
Jack thinks he's being hired to do.
Good. Do you have any friends? I need some help with this. I think it's a task for more than one man.
And she wants to keep her hands free? These are not compatible.
No.
I say, well, I'm pretty sure I can handle it myself, but if that's the way you roll, I could probably find some others.
She sits. She kind of like moves a little bit closer and leans down, whispers into your ear. It involves a lot of hobgoblins, so I can't be. As long as you're not afraid of hobgoblins, this should be a decent plan.
All right. Well, when she says it involves a lot of hobgoblins, it's too bad that the dwarf isn't here because I've got a new expression for him.
So wait, really quick. Right now, Jack is the only one in this hotel. Did we all wander in with him? Or
No,
what?
he's the
No.
only one there.
You're the only one in the brothel.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, he left the brothel. He's wandering around with you right now.
I'm wherever you are. I'm following you around, making sure you're all right.
Oh, I was hanging out in the street with Bison.
Yeah.
Then we're all hanging out in the street.
Yeah.
Say, well, if
Loitering like cool
hobgoblins are
kids.
your game, then I think my friend Bison might be able to handle this.
Good.
When
Could
it
you
comes
gather?
to hobgoblins, Bison is the one.
Sounds like a fearsome warrior. So could you? Could you gather your compatriots, this Bison guy, and meet me behind the forge in probably an hour or so? I'll have some details for you there, and also if you could keep this under, shush, that'd be great.
I trust me, no one's gonna hear about this, and from me, hobgoblins. So.
Yeah. Excellent.
Whatever you're into, man.
Okay. I'll see you there in an hour. And she walks out.
All right. So I wait 55 minutes, and then I decide to go look for these guys.
All right,
It's a
guys.
small town. It'll be fine.
All right, the rest of you. You are hanging out outside this burning building. What are you doing?
I'm describing the color of the sky for a really long time to these guys.
What is the color of the sky? Let me know.
It's like a beautiful lavender infused with shimmering pockets of gray.
Is there a double rainbow?
So I'm really short. So as he's looking up at the sky, I just sort of wander off quietly.
I have high perception. Do I notice?
Perception check.
All right, perception check.
Versus my horrible dwarven stealth.
Yes.
Is this an opposed check? Do I need to roll?
Oh,
No, don't even bother rolling. Oh,
Alright,
yeah, don't even
whoa.
bother rolling. You notice the shit as soon as you're looking up the sky and you see him ever so slightly move, and you're like, hey.
I'm like, little buddy, where do you think you're going?
Fuck. I'm gonna go look for Jack, just in case something more interesting is happening where he is.
Okay. Bison? Awesome. All right.
I'm following the dwarf around.
Okay. The dwarf goes from
If they leave, I follow after them. Assuming I notice.
eventually you guys stumble upon Jack as he's sitting in a very classy tavern filled with officers and people who, especially when when Bison walks in, pause and look and go
I'm pretty oblivious to this sort of thing, so I
all right,
don't even notice.
excellent. So
Hi, Jack.
you guys are all together now.
Gentlemen, so how very fortunate of you to wander in. I've found some employment for us, and Bison, let me just say, part of this is right up your alley.
What? Oh.
His civilization hasn't invented alleys yet, so you need to bear that in mind. with your
Maybe we need to have
analogy.
two buildings near each other.
You need to figure out walls before alleys kind of comes into play.
It's not really an alley if there are two tents.
All right, so I asked him, "What are you talking about?" What?
I go, aren't you looking for something to do? Or do you just want to wander around having sponge baths?
Either or, whatever you want to do. I'm game for whatever.
All right, well, let's just say we're in 5 minutes to go meet our new employer back behind the alley, behind the forge. And I suggest limber up a bit. This maybe stretch. This sounds interesting.
What does this? We're being employed. How much does it pay?
We'll find out more then. But you might think about it like an internship. Just a lot of interesting experience.
Okay, like my perception is telling me that this guy is kind of shady.
Yeah.
Well, we're all kind of shitty. Like that's our party.
Who exactly are you talking about working for? And why am I going to the back of an alley right now for no money?
Well, you'll find out in, I look at the hourglass, I guess, in 3 more minutes if we hurry. All will be revealed.
Yeah, I'm worried about that. But I think Bison's got our back. Let's. All right, so I just kind of walk behind Bison.
Okay.
I don't know where the forge is, so I'm assuming someone is gonna direct me.
I'm a dwarf. I know where forges are.
Yeah.
I'm just like sniff them out.
I'm kind of like using him as a shield and like pushing him along.
That's what I'm here for.
Okay. So you guys eventually head over to the forge, and when you get there, there's a woman standing there, kind of like tapping her foot, kind of waiting. You recognize her as the same woman you talked to before, Jax.
Ah, so I see you came early.
She kind of gives you a look and says, "Isn't that your role?"
I said, no, actually, that's why I brought Rosemary.
She chuckles a moment and says, "Excellent. Now you guys don't mind. You're up for some danger, right?"
Whoa. We want some ground rules and safe words here.
The answer is yes.
Hard
Yeah.
limits and soft limits.
Well, the reason I was talking to you is because it seemed like you were you could handle yourself with a sword, if you know what I mean.
Oh, I can tell you, Bison here knows how to handle himself.
Okay, excellent, good. So there is a group of hobgoblins nearby, and let's just say I've contracted with some others to, well, it doesn't matter. I can pay you quite a hefty sum if you could eliminate the hobgoblin presence.
Eliminate? Smash?
Smash. The big guy's got it. Smash hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin smashed real good.
We're smashing their presents. This like a Grinch Who Stole Christmas kind of thing, or what's?
Well, I mean, winter solstice is coming soon, but it's not here yet. So,
All right, where do we have to be?
she like kneels down in the dirt and kind of starts drawing a map. She's like, "Okay, here's the High Claris Tower," and then she draws a road that goes southwest, and says, "Here's Stoneborough." Now, outside of Stoneborough, in these hills, are where the hobgoblins live. Now, here's the one catch: if you come across any bugbears, you can't kill them.
Bugbear smash good too.
No. So here's the full story. There's a little bit of a conflict here between the local bugbears and the hobgoblins. We've been hired by the bugbears to wipe out the hobgoblins.
All right, so what's in it for us then?
600 gold, split between the 4 of you.
Let me just check my pocketbook to make sure that's gonna. Yeah, that's good.
600 gold divided among the 4 of us. That's 50 gold for you.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Your tribe hasn't invented math, right? That's 50 gold for you.
I feel like I've gathered some new facial expressions now.
All right, so do I know Stoneborough already?
You are familiar with it.
How far away is it? Like how long?
It's like
is the walk?
a 2.5, 3 day journey.
All right. And what time of day is it right now? Like you said,
Oh, it's evening now.
But yeah, evening.
like 7-ish, like the sun setting.
Yeah, because it's late autumn, maybe early winter, so probably closer to 6. It's probably like November late November.
So we would head out tomorrow.
Probably, unless you want to
Yeah.
walk in the night, in the cold, in the dark, where no one can hear you scream.
Well, see, I'm still somewhat confused, or well, somewhat incorrect in the nature of this job. So I'm thinking it's a night job.
And Jack specializes in night jobs.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Well, okay. All right, so we're in a hotel. We're in an inn. How much does it cost to stay here?
No, you're out.
We're not
You're
in
outside
the-
right
we're
now.
in the alley.
Yeah.
Next to the forge.
I mean, whatever. I'm gonna set out. I'm just gonna probably camp outside because that's the kind of dude I am. So I'm gonna just be just outside the city limits and just kind of set up camp somewhere under a tree.
I'll be with Rosemary. I don't even have money to buy a tavern room if I wanted.
Right. You're used to sleeping outside anyway.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
I'm telling him about different types of nuts as we go along.
Are there actually nuts?
No,
Or are you
I'm
just describing?
describing
Okay.
different types of nuts. He
I'm
says.
getting a little frustrated and hungry.
All right. Maybe I'll
Jack has pecans though.
That's true. If it's not too late to catch anything, I'll look around, see if I can hunt something.
Okay.
I'll wait behind a camp. I know my role.
Your hunting is not very fruitful.
All right.
All right.
Am I able to get any like berries or anything to eat at all? Berries, chewy cocoa beans.
You find some plants that are edible. They're not great. They're like, it's a type of lettuce that grows here, wild lettuce.
Okay, and it doesn't taste very good.
It's okay. You've had better.
Okay. So I go on and on about how delicious it is, and I tell Bison about it, and I like boil it or something. I don't know.
All right. So after watching him hunt a salad,
So are we all camped outside of town?
Well,
I'm
I
gonna
was
turn
gonna
to the dwarf.
I was going to go to a tavern and see if I could challenge someone to an eating contest in order to get free food.
Well, I actually turned to you. I think we need to go hunting on our own. Follow me, and I start sort of like cartoon stealthing into town towards that nice inn.
I'll go with him. That sounds like there could be a new facial expression at the end of it.
All right, you guys get to
All right.
the nice inn.
And I keep sort of miming like we're hunting, and every now and then turn around and go, shh, be very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go in and
Do you
when I
continue
see,
this
like,
charade as you walk through the door?
mhm.
Okay.
And then when we see like tankards lined up on the counter,
Uh-huh.
dwarf would go, "There's our prey. Now we just need to lay out some bait." Points for my pouch here. I go, "Watch this." And I'll purchase us some ales and bring them back and go, "A lot better than a salad, isn't it?"
Okay. The ales cost you a couple of copper. You have them. Are you guys going to crash at that place for the night? It's
Not
within
gonna
your
sleep under
budget.
his salad.
Okay. It's within your budget, but you guys are pretty short on cash right now.
I'm going to spend freely until I'm broke.
Okay.
I still want to challenge someone to an eating contest.
Okay.
So-
All right.
Or
Eventually,
ask the barkeep if he has an eating contest. Like,
the
there's a
barkeep
40-ounce
says,
steak, and if you finish
no, this is not that sort of bar. Don't look around, buddy. These are officers.
well, they eat, don't they?
He just goes back to serving someone else.
Well, that was a good facial expression, though. I collect that one mentally for myself.
Okay. So
Take a memory check.
the night passes. The two of you sleep outside. The other two of you sleep inside. And morning comes. You all reconvene on the road.
Right.
All right, before going to meet them, I make a point of bathing. Stop it if there's any place that has scented oils or something, and just to be in general, like make myself look really nice. Just to be in contrast to them from sleeping under a tree.
You should have been in all over that sponge bath. Is what I'm saying.
There's some public baths that you can go to.
All right, so I just make a point of how I don't look like I've slept under a tree.
Okay.
Of making that very clear.
All right, I specifically make a point to make it look like I slept under a tree.
You put like twigs and berries in your hair.
Right.
Few ants crawling around on your arm.
Become one with the earth.
Curious.
I make a point to look like I've slept under a tree for the last month and a half.
Dwarf,
Make a point to make it look like you weren't aware there were other places to sleep.
Dwarf, do you go to the bath, the public bath as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. You get some.
I've never had a bath before. This will be interesting.
You get some expressions. A lot of expressions. We're not going to go into them, but they're very.
Oh.
Okay. So eventually, you guys all meet up, and you're just outside of town.
All right, so we start heading down the path to the
Southwest. Yeah.
Southwest. Yeah. Okay. It's a long journey, but you guys can do it. You don't notice anyone else on the road right now.
Okay.
So you set off. The first day goes by pretty uneventfully. You see a couple of other merchants and travelers coming towards you, and there's a few riders who ride past you, but it's a pretty slow day. Not a lot going on.
All right. Before we set up camp and stuff like that, I'm gonna go hunting, get
Okay.
food,
Okay.
meet people.
Oh yeah, you find a nice doe hanging out
A
off
deer?
the road a little bit. A
Female
deer.
deer?
A
Yeah.
female deer?
Yeah,
All
there's a little bit of sunlight out too.
Hooray! A golden drop of sun.
Some might call it that. It was pretty pretty. And that's as far as I go with that song. But you do see a doe at some point.
Okay, I'm gonna try to hit it with my javelin.
Roll to hit with your javelin.
All right, let's do this thing. Combat, guys.
Let's do this thing.
Boom, 13.
13. You strike the deer. Roll for damage.
Roll for damage.
Deer is size medium. Javelin is d6 damage plus 1.
Yes. Good, because something, because of my attack or something.
Yeah.
That didn't work. Boom, 6.
Boom. You hit the deer for 6 damage, and it collapses to the ground, dead as a doornail.
All right. I come up to it and I grab it and I'm like, I'm sorry. It's the way of Mother Nature. And I throw it on my shoulder and bring it back to camp. And,
Okay.
I cut it up and cut the meat up and, I don't know, salt it or something. I don't know.
Are you trying to ration it?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll eat as much
Well,
of
I
the
mean,
deer as you put in front of my face.
All right. I'm putting a
Probably
fair amount
enough
of
by now.
maybe I should stop putting food in front of your face.
Yeah. So,
Dude, but your grub skill is not that high, bro.
You got a 9 on your grub skill.
Yeah, not
what
grub
can I
skill.
say? I'm not a very efficient eater. It takes a lot of deer.
I mean, you are what, 6'9", you said?
It's
Mhm.
probably like mostly just getting into his beard. You know? Like you just misses most of the time. Every once in a while, a little morsel gets into
All right. So you guys make camp. You have nice meat for dinner. Is there anything else you want to do this evening?
I shave my head with my little stone dagger. Cut myself in the process.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's gotta not be pleasant to do.
This might be the first time
Nope.
I've seen Bison eat, so I'm gonna start carving a beard comb for him.
Okay. Excellent. You guys make camp. It's a lovely evening. Things pass pretty uneventfully. Next morning, just as your camp is breaking, you hear what sounds like hoofbeats in the distance riding towards you. And when you stand up, you can see a rider dashing madly in your direction.
This is in the morning.
Yeah.
Just in general down the road, or they like coming straight towards us in particular?
Well, I mean, they're pretty far away, so down the road and straight towards you are pretty much the same. Like, you've broken camp, you've just gotten back onto the road. You know, you're just setting off for the day, and
so
then all
they're
of a sudden,
not necessarily just looking for us. It could be a chance person.
Yes.
It's like aggressively coming at us.
It looks like someone's galloping at full speed down the road. You guys are like just got back onto the road, so.
Okay. So I kind of like, move off to the side, not to get into the rider's way, I guess.
Okay. And as the rider gets closer, he shouts, "Run! Run! Run!" And then by then he's like gone.
Okay. I just gotta stand there and I'm like, wonder what that was about. I look in the direction he came from, and
I mean,
I start running in the direction that he came from.
Okay.
I start walking casually in that direction, talking casually to anybody else who might be coming along.
Okay.
I'm talking to Jax.
Okay.
That was really odd. Have you ever seen that before?
All right, I kind of jog alongside of Bison. I'm like, "What's going on, buddy? What are you up? Where are you going?"
Do we see anything up ahead that he was probably running from?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm pretty quick, so I may slow down to match pace with Rosemary, unless I actually see the source of the running. So I'm not like gonna ditch the party, but
right.
All right, so I'm gonna be like, why don't we turn around? This is kind of the different, because are they coming from?
They're coming from the direction you were headed.
Yeah,
oh.
I see.
Okay.
I shake my head and say, "Hobgoblins are that way."
Oh, okay. I'm like, right, you are. Let's do this. All right. I guess we pack up camp and leave. I guess we already packed up camp. We just leave. We go. We do not heed the riders' warnings. Yeah.
Okay. Do you two in front slow down to let the dwarf and elf catch up with you?
They're probably only 100 feet behind us.
Yeah, I mean, if you're running, the dwarf is pretty short. He can't keep up with you very well.
I mean, well, no.
And we're just kind of walking casually.
Yeah. So my question is, how far ahead of the rest of the party do you go?
Ask Rosemary. I'm not a decision maker.
Rosemary?
So do you turn me around so we can meet up with the rest of the party? Or at least have us wait?
Yeah, I just kind of try to get you to slow down a little bit while they catch up.
Okay.
Okay.
Eventually, you guys all catch up together, and a few minutes later...
I offer the dwarf a few pecans. We go. I'm just munching on them.
Excellent. A few minutes later, you guys see what looks to be 3 very large creatures prowling around just off the side of the road, and they seem to be eating a dead horse.
They're humanoid?
They're humanoid, but they're like 9 feet tall.
Bugbears?
Do I
recognize large for me.
Goblins, or are they bugbears?
Bugbears, it sounds like.
But they're a little bit bigger than bugbears. They're more ogre-sized.
Hint, hint.
No, totally. Just no hints whatsoever. They're
How far away are they?
probably 200 yards.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
I kind of grab my spear and I'm off my back, and I'm just like kind of walking along with it as a walking stick now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no need to get out the weapons. That horse could have been asking for it.
yeah,
I've
got my axe in my hand.
I'm just going to continue walking casually, as if this
Nobody said we're not walking.
does not impress me at all.
I'm still casual.
Yeah, I'm casual.
Casual with an axe.
Yeah, I'm walking softly, but carrying a big stick.
Hey, axes fall chic this year. It's the accessory.
Yeah, yeah. Axe is the new sword.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. All right. You guys walk down the road. As you get closer, the creatures poke their heads up from like ripping apart this horse and look at you, but they don't really engage. You know, they
Right.
see you kind of walking casually, and they keep eating their horse flesh, and like they keep an eye on you, but they don't really, you know.
All right, I'm like, sup? Is there?
One of them stands up full at that, and then like after a moment, kind of goes back down and keeps eating horse.
All right.
I-
So I guess we
Right.
keep an eye on them as we pass. I don't want them to sneak up behind us or whatever. So
Yeah, without making a big point of it, I'm still, talking casually. But as I'm talking to the dwarf, I do try to make a big. Is there a thief skill for? I thought there was some thief skill there. Well,
Third
Bluffing.
mage.
it was eavesdrop, but I guess that's not really what I want here.
No, what
I
are
want
you looking
to visually eavesdrop using my perception.
Oh,
Try to check out, see if there's like a dead person or just the horse, or
for? Okay, but you don't want it to be obvious that you're looking?
I'm acting like I see ogres eating horses at the side of the road all the time, and
Okay.
frankly, it's getting a little old.
Okay, so that'd be a perception check, and you're going to want to hit a 25 on that. So D20 plus your perception.
All right. What is my perception?
I think your perception is 16.
16, I believe. Yeah.
Yes. 23. You don't notice anything other than the creatures and the horse.
Does the horse have a saddle?
Yes.
Okay. Again, we don't know. The horse could have been asking for it.
Is it a nice saddle?
It's okay. I guess it doesn't stand out as particularly nice or crude. Just,
Is it similar in make to the saddle of the? Guy
you
who,
did
like,
not
rode
pay that much
past us.
attention to the saddle as he rode past you.
Okay.
But there's nothing like,
memory is mostly around faces, not around saddles.
That's true. I'm specialized.
but there's no like, special livery or anything. It's just like a generic saddle and tack. It's not like,
Yeah,
a knight's crest on anything.
correct.
All right.
From my perspective, a bunch of ogres gathered around eating a horse is just like home. So
I'm not.
I don't pay much attention to
I'm
it.
just walking along. I'm like, okay, I just want to make sure they don't sneak up behind us, and then we keep going along.
Okay.
Well, I'll
Are you like slowing down?
I'm willing. I will sort of kind of start walking up casually to them as I'm eating.
Up to the
and,
ogres?
pecan? Yeah, and I'll ask them, pecan?
I'm like, Jack, what are you doing, man?
As
What
soon
you
as you
doing?
start walking off the road and start walking towards them, they all like stop eating the horse and stand up, and you can see that like they've literally just been ripping hunks of raw meat off the horse and shoving them in their face. So their like faces and chests are covered in blood, as are their hands up to about their
Okay, I'm like,
halfway through their forearm.
I
Like, dude, what are you
act like
doing?
this is completely normal.
Is it,
Like, dude, we gotta.
Jack, we just ate deer. No need for horse flesh.
like, we.
I'm in case they don't have a common language. I'm making it clear that I'm offering them some pecans.
Okay, yeah, I mean they're a little bit off the road, so you like walk up, kind of like, oh hey, pecan. And as you get closer, one of them like reaches down and picks up this massive club that's probably the size of the dwarf.
Alright. As he's getting closer, I kind of stop following. Like, I was kind of following along with him, being like, dude, what are you doing? And now I'm like, kind of stopped. I'm like, okay, you go ahead and walk
Alright.
ahead. See how
But
that
when he picks up the club, I just kind of give him a look like, really? And
I'm still standing
concerned.
next to Rosemary. So FYI, you don't have your bodyguard.
Yeah, there's kind of a
For all he knows, I could be 10th level. He doesn't know.
yeah.
I think it's pretty clear you're not 10th level.
So he just kind of growls
Okay,
at
again,
you.
I'll hold it and becons, and since he's not rental, I kind of give him a little shrug, like no. Then offer a sip of my wineskin.
Takes the club and raises it over his head and goes, "Ah!" and yells loudly at you.
Okay, so I'm guessing he just doesn't seem to speak common. I'll just kind of put up my hand like, okay. While I'm doing that, I am trying to look more closely at everything, see saddlebags, any clues, anything, anything about the ogres as well.
You do see
Trying
a
to get a good look at
person
everything.
who is next to him, except the person only has, one arm has clearly been ripped off and is lying nearby. The person was wearing chainmail armor and had a sword at their side.
Okay. What does this person look like? Like a knight? Like an old woman? I mean, what are we looking at here?
Some
Who is
sort
this-
of
who is this person?
traveler or adventurer. You don't see any signs of any particular allegiance. There's no livery on him. There's no banners. So possibly some traveling adventurer or something, or
So he's the only
mercenary.
one that sees this, right?
Yeah. Because he's
Kinda
like 30 feet off the road. You guys are like just a little bit off the road.
I'm like, hey, I think we better get moving on down the trail. There's not a lot of sunlight left.
All right. Well, I'm guessing these ogres don't seem to speak common, so they probably have no idea what you said. But I'll kind of glance over my shoulder at you and, kind of make a like, oh, okay, gotta go. Look to the ogre, give him a little salute, and walk off to join the rest of the party.
As you walk off, the one with the club kind of waits for a few minutes, and then once you get back on the road and start walking, he puts the club down and goes back to eating his horse flesh.
Okay, what's this terrain like? Forest or what?
Let's take a look at the map. Yeah, this is fairly wooded areas.
All right. So at that point, once we get around out of sight of them, I'll huddle up, guys, and I'll describe everything I saw.
You have described it to them.
All right.
Okay. So I'm waiting to see what they say or any reactions here.
Oh, it's a circle of life.
So first,
Horse carries man, ogre kills man.
all right. So I look down at the dwarf and go, well, mildly concerned. I know that dwarves know a lot about ogres and fight with them a lot, and might even get like a special stat bonus against large creatures. You know what language they speak. I didn't seem to understand common.
I assume they speak ogre. Like, is that a true statement?
Do they, or do they speak orc, or I don't know.
They're called ogres, and I'm called a dwarf, and I speak dwarven. So I'm going to go ahead and assume.
I think they speak Denari, if I'm not mistaken. Just kidding.
Do I actually know the answer to this question? Like, racially, would I know this?
I mean, if they're ogres, they probably speak ogre. Maybe whatever you know, your character knows. So use all of your
I
D&D
don't know
knowledge.
if they have their own language. I mean,
Okay, that's not
Yeah,
that's
they're
just not
language.
fair.
Come on, guys. Ogres speak ogre, or they speak something that sounds like ogre to me. So,
like, does anybody here speak ogre?
why do we need to converse with these ogres? Is my question.
I've got a plan, but it's predicated on whether somebody here speaks ogre.
I
I
think
saw him
I think
very
that
large,
the
but
original plan
point
was
down the path.
hobgoblins.
Say hobgoblins that way.
Yes. Let's keep it together, man. Keep focus. You get your chance to be crafty.
Well, I'm thinking that if this guy could afford a horse, he's probably got some money on him. Now,
I mean,
who really deserves these coins more? A bunch of stinking ogres or us?
aren't they paying us like 600 gold for this mission? Isn't that a lot more valuable than trying to assault 3 ogres? Or the pocket change that is left over in some dead corpse?
This is why
All right,
you're not a
I'm walking on. I mean, I'm still
those
walking.
look for all the little money.
Yeah, I start walking as well.
All right, I'm going. I'm gonna get my 600 gold. If you don't want,
I'm just gonna
Yo,
keep walking
fellas, I
south.
feel like there's probably an adventure clue that we're walking by.
So the
And
three of
that
us
we
are
need
walking,
to find ways in character to
and Jack
explore this
is
option.
sitting in the middle of the path talking to himself.
All right. So
okay, remember, you gotta do whatever is the opposite of what you think Neil wants you to do. That's the way it works.
All right. Well, I go fine. Okay, so I don't speak ogre.
I'm gonna dig
So,
as deep as I can right now.
Also, I'm pretty sure
but
ogres
I got,
actually speak
okay, wait,
giant.
do any of you guys have
For the
like
record.
a sack as they're walking away? Any of you have like an extra sack or a backpack that you don't need at the moment?
So are you now walking with us asking this question?
Yeah, I'll ask that.
I mean, I have a knapsack. That's why I'm carrying my shit in.
Anybody have like a spare large sack or anything?
No, I don't think. If I do have one, I just say no.
The biggest one we have. I need something big.
I'm pretty sure Bison has the biggest sack out of all of us, but we could pull them out and compare, I guess.
All jokes
No,
aside,
all right.
I have no sacks.
All right. Well, I'm like, okay, guys, I have a plan coming together. It's not all the way there, but I've got step one.
All right, why don't we discuss it tomorrow?
Step 3 is profit. Step 2, I'm not sure yet. But step 1 is pretty cool. And I'm sure step 3 will get there. We'll figure out step 2.
This doesn't sound-
Movie is long
This
enough
doesn't sound like an
to get dark outside.
actual plan.
It's got a phase 1 and a phase 3. We'll figure out phase 2. But phase 1 is so cool that phase 3 has to be profit.
I don't think
But
he convinced
trust me on
anyone.
this. I have this. Trust me.
So as we
I think the
continue
plan
walking
is-
south,
I think the plan is walk south
come
to
with me.
hobgoblins
Aren't you-
profit.
I know you're curious now, but you've got to see this.
Neil, FYI,
There's no
we're
way
walking
this.
and
There's
talking.
no way this plan can fail. Come on.
Tell me more
It's-
about this plan. Keep talking.
I got to show you. You have to see it.
All right. Why don't you act it out?
Not, if I just tell you, it's not going to make sense. You won't believe in the plan. You have to see it because you all need to believe in the plan. I don't want any unbelievers walking backward. If you don't believe in the plan, keep walking. Okay,
All right.
I don't want anyone who is not fully invested in the plan.
All right, I'm continuing to walk here.
All right, bye. Good. I'm glad nobody who's not fully invested should be involved in this. I turn to the other two. All right, come on,
Still
come on,
walking. Still walking.
Justin, are you walking? Or are you gonna?
I'm still walking. This does not make any sense to me.
Come on, guys. Phase 1 is awesome. And I know that you guys are the type of people that can help create that phase 2.
I've been hanging out with Jax long enough to recognize that facial expression, and I'm just walking south.
I need, like,
That's the "it'll be fine" facial expression, and I don't trust that one.
come on, Doc. I need your specialty here. I need that act sharp wit that you're known for. That you bring to this project, and only you.
Still heading south. So this is like a 2 or 3 day trip before we go off the road and find the hobgoblins.
Yeah.
So how long?
It's
can we,
really,
roll a
really
willpower
brilliant.
check? Can we have him roll a willpower check to see how long it takes him to stop talking about?
No,
the
he can talk as long as he wants to talk.
At some point, we're just too far away for it to be practical to turn around.
Yeah. Is that, yeah.
Like, you guys are missing out. Okay, so I go back.
You go out.
Are you
you go back
serious?
on the road.
I go back.
Oh my
He turns
god.
around.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, hold
I
on.
am going.
Hold on. We're at the 1
I'm
hour
going-
mark. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll come back into the game. All right. We'll come back
Okay.
in when you turn around. So everyone in
All right.
chat, quick break. We'll be back.
I think
in
I'm
5
getting
minutes.
phase 2. It would have been nice to have them for phase 2, but I think I've got phase 2.
All right. We'll be back in 5 minutes, everybody.
All right.